The homework covers 3-1 through 3-4. We finished 3-1 the other day. So let's look at 3-4. We started up there, linear versus nonlinear, if you'll remember. So what's going on down before? How can you graph a line?
What number?
On number 33 through 50. How can you graph a line? What does graph a line mean in English?
Plotting two different points.
No, it means drawing a line on the grid.
To be in,
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. There are 3 ways you can use to graph a line. You know me, there's 3 ways to do everything, right? Bryn, if you liked what you were taught and you get it, cool, run with it. But for those that, how many of you never liked graphing? Because I always, oh yeah, about a quarter or a third of the students were like, I hated graphing. Hey, just a little note to you. You're going to want to get graphing down because guess what we do in chapter 4? More graphing. Only in chapter 4, we're not doing 1 line, we're doing 2 on the same grid. And if you go on to 111, we do a little bit more graphing. Not a lot, but a little. And 109, we do graphing as well, but it's more reading the graph rather than drawing it. Okay. So, which one would you, or which one we're going to look at?
let's look at 49.
49.
It looks fun.
Let's do something a little less complicated. Well, because what can you do with, all right, 49. Before we do, what can we do with 49?
If you're breaking them. On the right side, you could put 3 and could be X and 1.
Could you, What?
What?
Oh, you mean clean it up, distribute?
Yeah.
Oh, because there's no Y on the right side. I don't know what you were talking about. That's what you confused me.
I usually say put it into.
Okay. So is there something else we could do to clean this up?
+2.
Yeah, we could get the Y by itself. If you remember from the end of class on Tuesday, to determine if something was a linear equation, we are looking for it to be in the form of Y equals mx plus b. But it doesn't have to be. That is one of the 3 ways. That's going to be the third one. The first one is, how can you graph this? The first one we call it plotting points. In other words, what you're going to do is pick a value for X or Y and find the other one. If you plug in a value for X, find out what Y is, and vice versa. And oftentimes you'll see it written kind of like this, with an XY tree or an XY grid or table or whatever. So give me a value for X or for Y. Don't care what it is.
5.
5 for what? X or Y? Okay. Is that a question mark? Okay. If X is 5, what is Y? Well, can we plug it in to find out? Y is equal to 3 times X plus 5. If X is 5 itself, then Y is equal to 15 plus 5 is 20. So how does that help us?
Fine.
Does that look familiar? Bingo. It's an ordered pair. This is the pair X, Y. 520. Oops, let's move that up and back. So this is gonna be the ordered pair, 520. Now, anybody see an issue with that? Where is 520 on my grid?
You know what it is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh crap. Bang! Is that going to be very useful? In this case, no. In some cases, it's fine. How you going to know?
Yes.
You're not. Well, I mean, are you going to know that that's going to be there? Did anybody see that 5 was going to be a problem for X? Yeah. A lot of it has to do with how much time you spent with stuff. And if any of you spend a lot of time with graphing? So why would you know? It's kind of like me bringing in a unicycle and say, hey, you ever seen this one? So write it. So maybe we should pick some different values. But this highlights one of the bad things about using plotting points. You can pick points that aren't so pleasant. Pick a point for Y, just for the fun of it. If Y is 0, okay, what's X then?
0.
Oh,
It's so easy though.
0 is equal to 3x plus 5. Can you solve that for X? Let's see, we'd subtract 5 from both sides. Negative 5 is equal to 3x. Divide by 3. Oh, X is equal to negative 5 over 3. Uh-huh. Yeah. So you got the ordered pair negative 5, 3, 0. Where is that on your grid?
And where's that on the grid?
Somewhere.
It's somewhere.
At least mine
And
is-
that's one of the things about My Math Lab. They're going to want it written as a simplified fraction. If you put in, well, what would be the equivalent of negative 5/3 as a mixed number?
1 2/3.
Yeah, it's negative 1 2/3. Could we find that? Yeah, negative 1, negative 2. So negative 1 2/3 is like here on the X. Oh, so it's right there. 2 issues. A, My Math Lab doesn't let you put fractions in most of the time. And B, if you put it as negative, they're going to want it as a improper fraction, but does anybody know where that is without changing it? On your test, I will give you a grid. So if you decided to use that, you could estimate. But what if we pick something like, oh, I don't know,
1.
for what, X? Okay, if X is 1, see, Y is equal to 3 times 1 plus 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. Oh, can we graph that point? 1, 8, boom. How many points do you need for a line?
2.
Technically only 2. Most of you are probably told to graph 3. Why 3?
Can you go over what you wrote?
Here,
Yes.
3 times 1 is 3,
Yes.
plus 5 is 8.
Oh, okay.
You can't read my handwriting? It's only week 5. Really? Seriously? Well, that's right. Your son's not old enough to write yet, is he?
Yeah, he can write something. His name.
Well, I would have thought you of all people could then interpret my chicken scratch. You got more practice than everybody. Anyway, yeah, My Math Lab, by the way, is only going to let you put in 2 points. We usually say to do 3 so that if you had a Homer Simpson moment, that you'll catch it. Okay, I only got 1 point. Well, actually, I got 2 points now, don't I? Could I draw that line? Yeah.
Nice line.
Thanks, I think. Anyway, plotting points, the nice thing about it is you can always go back to it. All else fails, you can just plot points. But as you can see, sometimes they work out real nice, sometimes they're really ugly or useless. So there's got to be another way.